can't be more impressed with the outcomes that you have driven, and choosing this Saturday to save people's lives or just be done with it seems like just the right choice.
But I think it's time to come up with a date. What are we going to do? Keep every week 2 people, 3 people? No, I don't think you can do that anymore. These are very seriously endangered people. These are endangered people. I don't think they're going to last very long. You know, the people that came out yesterday, they wouldn't last very long.
Were you ruling out any U.S. involvement in whatever happens after this deadline?
We'll see what happens. We'll just see what happens.
Will you talk with Zelensky this week, sir?
Yeah, probably.
By telephone, what's your message?
He wants to make a deal. Let's see. We'll see. We're dealing with him, and I think they both want to make a deal, but we'll have to see. It's got to be done.
What is Zelensky going to
Would have never happened if I were president. This would never have happened. Millions of people are dead.
What will Zelensky have to give up, if anything?
We'll talk about that later. Because
your reaction to a judge today continuing a pause on the buyout program for federal workers?
Well, I don't know how you can lose a case like that. We're talking about people, everybody. I got elected on making government better, more efficient, and smaller. And that's what we're doing. And I think it was a very generous buyout, actually. Also, if people don't show up to work, we have a right to fire them. And they have an option. They can show up to work or not. If they don't want to show up to work, then let them work. Because then the next step is, have you worked before? Have you worked during this time that you're supposed to be working? You'll find many of those people, in my opinion, have had other jobs, even though they're collecting money from the federal government. Many have had, in my opinion, other jobs. And if they did, that's a big problem.
If the buyouts are blocked in court, will you instead pursue layoffs in federal departments?
I don't know how they can do. This is free will. This is a buyout where people, they were offered a good deal. Many people have taken that, as you know. But, many of those people, and we talk about reporting to work, right? I happen to be a believer that you have to go to work. I don't think you can work from a home. I don't know. It's like there's a whole big, you can work from home. Nobody's going to work from home. They're going to be going out, they're going to play tennis, they're going to play golf, they're going to do a lot of things. They're not working. It's a rare person that's going to work. You might work 10% of the time, maybe 20%. I don't think you're going to work a lot more than that. And I think they have an obligation to work. And they have an obligation not to have a second job when they're supposed to be working for the federal government. You're going to find that a lot of these people had second jobs instead of working they'll be collecting a federal government check and they'll be working 2 jobs. And that's big trouble for them.
You've said a lot
about South Africa in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's hosting the G20 summit this year. Are you planning to attend this, or are you skipping it and telling your cabinet to not?
Well, we'll see what happens. But the South African situation is very, very dangerous and very bad for a lot of people. There's tremendously bad things going on, including the confiscation of property, and worse, much worse than that. You know what I'm talking about. And we're not making any payment until we find out what's going on in South Africa. Yes, please.
What's next for General Kellogg going to Ukraine this week, sir, or soon?
Yeah, he is. Keith Kellogg. General Kellogg is an excellent guy, and he's spending time doing various things. We have numerous people working on numerous different problems. When I left office, wasn't long ago, a little more than 4 years ago, we had no wars, we didn't have problems. Now we got the whole world is blowing up, but we'll put out the fires.
You've been talking to Vladimir Putin. Are you trying to set up a meeting with him?
Well, I can't tell you what I'm talking about, but we are talking as a group also. I think he'd like to make a deal, but it takes 2 to tango.
And so, you can't give us any more clarity on whether you personally have spoken to him.
I don't want to talk about it. No, I don't want to talk about it. It's not going to help you to know. But we would like to get a deal done if possible, only because, in my case, save lives. We're much further away. Remember, we have an ocean separating. They don't. Europe should be paying what we're paying. And Europe has done it more in the form of a loan than with us. We just give it. Biden gives it because he's not a smart individual, not a very smart individual. We have people over there today who are making a deal that as we give money, we get minerals and we get oil and we get all sorts of things, because why are we doing this? And all this money, we're in for maybe 350 billion, and Europe's in for 100 billion. And Europe's in really as a form of a loan. In theory, they get that money back. In theory, they get interest on their money. It's a whole different ballgame. And Biden is the one that started doing this. Every time Zelensky came here, he walked away with 60 to 100 billion dollars. I think he's one of the greatest salesmen who have ever lived, by the way.
Can you discuss your intentions with the Kennedy Center, which you're now
Yeah.
board chair of?
So we took over the Kennedy Center. We didn't like what they were showing and various other things. And I had a lot of the board members already, as you know, and we have some that will be replaced. But we have, I guess, a whole new group of people going in. I have Rick Grinnell, who's got some experience in that world. He's very good. Going to be handling it on a temporary basis. I think he'll do a great job, but we're going to get some great professionals. I'm going to be chairman of it, and we're going to make sure that it's good and it's not going to be woke. There's no more woke in this country. This woke has cost us a fortune and cost us our reputation, but the reputation's coming back very, very rapidly. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
The penny, guys.
The penny is gone.
No, penny's gone. Is the nickel next?
What about the dime?
What about anything? Good luck. The penny is gone.
Your message is
The penny cost this government a lot.